Howdy there, followers of darkness. Here I am, Lord of Shadows, and it's discussion time. Finally, this discussion I was planning to do for a week because I think it has been a week since I did the Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man Tell No Tales movie review. Yeah, I think it was a week. So you already guessed what this discussion is going to be all about. Yes, first of all, the reason we didn't put in the video way before, like a little bit after the movie review, is because I was busy. I had to, I had to finish what's left. My third year, in college. Also, I had like some, family issues and all that, which is none of your business. Just saying, So now I'm free, and here I am right now doing the discussion video. Now, like I said before, like you guessed already before, this discussion video is going to be about Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. More precisely, Pirates of the Caribbean 6. It's going to be a discussion, it's going to be a discussion video, and also going to put, there, some of my theories, what I think is going to happen and all that. If they're ever going to make a 6th movie. Now, before I come to that, I just want to say, like I said, if you watch the Dead Man Tell No Tales, if you watch, the movie until the end, at the end of the movie, you definitely saw it was an end credit scene, which somehow gives you a clue that most definitely is going to be a 6th one. Now, before the credit scene, there was actually a few clues that actually give me an idea that maybe that most definitely is going to be a 6th one. Okay, there are 3. First of all, there was the rumor that Johnny Depp was signed up a contract when it comes to the Pirates of the Caribbean 5 and 6. Now that was at the beginning. There was a rumor, So I don't know if it's true or not. The other clue is on the Pirates of the Caribbean official trailer, which in one point it says the final adventure begins. It doesn't say the final adventure ends. The final adventure begins. That's what it says. So that also gives you a clue that there's gonna be a 6th one. But even at the beginning, I felt like there's gonna be like Dead Man's Chest and World's End. Part 1, part 2. That's actually what I thought about when it comes to when I saw the title. The other clue is that one of the Norwegian directors who directed the movie says before the actual official release of Dead Man Tell No Tales in March, he said that the Dead Man Tell No Tales is the beginning of their final adventure when it comes to Jack Sparrow and the others. So that also gives you a clue that it most definitely is going to be a 6th one. Now, like I said, it all depends if they're going to make one or not. I do believe, I do think, that the Dead Man Tell No Tales is going to do really good when it comes to the box office, just like the other, 4 movies. Now, I don't know if he's going to cross like 1 billion, but I think, my primary thought would be like he's going to go somewhere around maybe 700, 800, or maybe even 900 million. Where maybe the movie's gonna stop, when the box office is gonna stop. Maybe it's gonna cross the 1 billion. I don't know. But for right now, it's on 600 million. Which it's really excellent, when it comes to that. So here it goes. So like I said, there is a real big chance that Pirates of the Caribbean 6 is gonna be made. Now, like I said, it all depends on the studio if they're gonna make it or not. But here we go. So from this moment on goes discussion. So it's gonna be spoiler free. Now, here I am. First of all, I'm gonna describe the credit scene. The end credit scene. So spoiler alert if you didn't saw the movie. Spoiler alert. So the end credit scene starts up with Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann in their room at night sleeping and all that. Then out of nowhere while they're sleeping, out of nowhere you hear like this thumping like which is growing bigger and bigger, like going like bum dum bum dum bum dum, something like that, and you could definitely hear it goes, that someone is like walking up the stairs, and then the door came, and then the door opened, and you see like the light of the corridor, and then out of nowhere from that light you see a silhouette that goes way across the bed, towards the bed and way across it, and then you have a silhouette. If you saw the movie, you know what silhouette I'm talking about. A silhouette of a character, a very old and very famous character in the entire Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, which also proves that he's back. So after that, Will Turner wakes up, and then you have then you have like a thunderbolt, and then you have like thunder strike, and then you have like for a second you have like a claw you have like a claw like for a second. You see like a crab claw, which also gives you a clue who's back, And then after that, Will Turner wakes up and felt like all this was a nightmare and all that. So then of course he returns back to sleep. He hugs Elizabeth Swann and they sleep all together and everything. But and that's actually where I felt like maybe then actually at the beginning I felt like maybe this is like a nightmare sequence or something. But then the camera goes down and then on the floor you see a little bit of water and 2 barnacles, which means he was there. And who was there? None other than one of the greatest villains in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, who's for me is on the same rank as Captain Salazar. It was in the 5th one, Davy Jones. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Davy Jones is back. The Davy Jones, former Captain Flying Dutchman, the squid guy, and that crab claw that I was talking about was his claw, was his. So like I said, and the silhouette was also his. You could ever see like the tentacles moving, that, and the hat. It was Davy Jones. It was Davy Jones. I even recognize him, when it comes to his walk, in the way how he walks. Even with that, I recognize, it was his walk, because Davy Jones is a very specific walk, and all that. So Davy Jones is back, and also, which is also some kind of 4th clue that also gives an idea that maybe he's gonna be like the main villain of the 6th of the Pirates of the Caribbean 6, which also gives you a clue that Elizabeth Swann and Will Turner will go back to be one of the main characters. Now, the thing is, Davy Jones being the main villain of Pirates of the Caribbean 6, it could be even that, but I found this way too easy, I found it way too easy to put him as the main villain, because it is something for me that's actually very obvious, So my thoughts were that maybe someone else, maybe it's gonna be someone else that is way more higher than him, I'm just saying, because like I said, it's way more obvious to put Davy Jones as the main villain. Maybe my personal thought is maybe he's gonna be one of the major villains in the movie, or maybe he's gonna be like a secondary or tertiary or the 3rd one. I don't know. I'm just saying, But here's the thing. A lot of people are wondering how the hell he was resurrected. How the hell he come back to life? Very simply, the Trident of Poseidon. When the Trident of Poseidon was broken, that means that every single curse at sea became disabled, turned off, broken, whatever. How the hell you want to call it, So that also means Davy Jones, I know that Calypso in the, when she was describing Davy Jones' backstory and all that, I know that she gave him a job, which like taking the souls of the people who died at sea accidentally, not by his hand, accidentally, and then take them, put them back to the Davy Jones locker and all that, She gave him his duties, but after because after he was like betrayed, all of the things that he done, it was his fault, Also like cut off his arm and all that. So also by cutting off his arm and all that, So in that way, so when it comes to that part, he was cursed by the sea. More precisely, he was cursed by the Poseidon, in general, And also, even if Calypso, when it comes to the Pirates of the Caribbean mythology, she was a hidden god, but Poseidon was on a way more higher rank than her. Because he's one of the main men, he's one of the main guys, he's one of the main gods, alongside Hades and Zeus. You get the idea, Just saying, So which when it comes to, so in some way, actually I get the idea why he's back, But the one thing I'm questioning, which I was kind of getting in my head all the time. Now, okay, here's the thing. Actually, okay, so the Trident of Poseidon was broken. Which and when you see Davy Jones, which also gives you a proof that he can walk on land, but the other things I think is, if he come back from the dead, like I said, he can walk on land, because you could definitely see, he like walking in the room of Will Turner and all that, which definitely gives you a clue that he can walk on land. But the other thing is, does it mean that but the other thing, which I thing actually happened to him is after being resurrected and all that and walking on land. I think that maybe his heart, I think that the other thing is that maybe after his resurrection, I think maybe even he had his heart back. I'm just thinking, which so the other explanation would be he had his heart back, which also is one of the obvious reasons, which also one of the obvious things when it comes to Davy Jones being resurrected and all that. But the one thing I was questioning, if he, like I said, if he can all over again, so like I said, if he was resurrected, he can walk on land. Also believe that he has also his heart back. But why he's still cursed? Why he's still a squid man? Why he's still deformed? Actually, what I was actually thinking at the beginning. But then in the end, after I saw those two barnacles on the floor, then I felt like, what if Davy Jones is slowly turning again to a human? I'm just saying, because I was, because like I said, because one thing I will say about Davy Jones, when it comes to Damon's Chest at World's End, he never left his barnacles. No barnacle, from his hat or suit, whatever, fall on the floor. When he was walking. So if those barnacles on the floor, which means that Davy Jones maybe will be turned back to a human form, just like in the old times. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the main explanations, theories I have for Davy Jones. Which I think will be cool. Which I think will be also cool to see him back in his human form. So it also will be way more great. Which will also, it will be, way more easier for Bill Nighy, playing again and everything. Because if you have to remember that Dead Man's Chest at World's End, he had his gray suit, because the entire character was CGI and all that, motion capture. So it will be great, to see Davy Jones, So it will be great to see Bill Nighy, playing Davy Jones in a human form and all that. So that's my first theory. The other theory is, now when it comes to the main villain and the Shrine of Poseidon, like I said, the Shrine of Poseidon, when he was broken, every single curse at sea was dismissed, was broken. Now, don't try to think that every single that nothing will happen, because some of the curses maybe were good, but some of the curses maybe they're bad, or maybe even worse. Which also give you another how should I put it, a clue that maybe that maybe it's gonna be another villain, another main villain of the Pirates of the Caribbean 6, instead of Davy Jones. Because like I said, there's a lot of possibilities when it comes to the story and all that. But the the main plot of the story of Pirates of the Caribbean 6 will be Jack Sparrow, on his adventure with William Turner, Elizabeth Swann, and also Karina Barbosa and Henry Turner, trying to stop or destroy, all these curses, they were broken, since the Shrine of Poseidon was destroyed. I mean, it could be something like that, trying to destroy all these results, that came out after the destruction of Shrine of Poseidon. Because, like I said, some of those, results could be bad, some of them could be good. Like I said, besides Salazar and Davy Jones, you don't know, you can't know, what kind of other curses are, across the sea, because, like I said, it's all around the world, You cannot possibly know what other curses, Shrine of Poseidon hold in his trident. Just saying, So like I said, when it comes to the main villains, like I said, it could be anything. Also, here's the thing. A lot of people actually also theorizing maybe Angelica will be back, in Pirates of the Caribbean 6. I mean, it will be cool. It will be cool to see her, but I know how they will handle that. I know that after the Stranger Tides, there's a great scene where she's on land, and there you have she's holding, and the sea is giving her just gave her the voodoo doll, the Jack Sparrow voodoo doll, and all that, and then you can see her staring, at nothing with an evil grin. So which also gives you a clue that maybe we didn't see the last of Angelica, which also will be cool. Which also will be cool to see. Now, like I said, if they want to bring Angelica back, they have to, if they write, if they bring Angelica back, they have to, if they handle her very well, when it comes to the script and her character and all that, it could be easily done. It could be easily, really, easily done, when it comes to her and all that. Now, the other things actually that have been around, is which also is one of my own theories, that maybe Davy Jones, maybe he's gonna, because you have to remember, a lot of people wonder, if is the Flying Dutchman, free from the curse? free him from his curse and all that, which I think it is, which I definitely think it's broken, and now that the Flying Dutchman, I think and now the Flying Dutchman is free and all that, and I think I still believe the Will Turner is gonna be the captain of the Flying Dutchman, and all that, because like I said, I think the Flying Dutchman is gonna, is totally free out of his curse, just like Will Turner. So maybe one of the plots could be like Davy Jones trying to get the command of the Flying Dutchman again, which also could be one of the plots could be like Davy Jones getting revenge on Elizabeth Swann, Will Turner, and Jack Sparrow, what they did to him at the World's End. Also one of the plots which I think is when it comes to Davy Jones could be maybe he's gonna like try to reconstruct some kind of an army of this like beings or creatures, something they actually were this the effect of those curses, trying to take down Jack Sparrow, and all of his enemies, and try to conquer the sea. Maybe it could be something like that, or maybe Davy Jones will just simply reunite with Jack Sparrow's old enemies, and they were like some way they would try to work together, try to destroy them. Which also in some way, which also in that way you have to think about it. Which also in that way they can easily bring Angelica in the 6th movie with that part. With Davy Jones, wants to make an alliance, with her and the other, enemies of Jack Sparrow. The ones who hold grudge against him. But here's the thing. Like I said, Davy Jones being the main villain, it's all too easy, very easy. So what about if there is someone beyond him? Someone who is way more worse, way more powerful, way more evil than him. Someone maybe who was, how should I put it, imprisoned. Someone maybe that was imprisoned or in some way cursed because the trident, and now that the trident is destroyed, this character, this some kind of this other mystical villain is free. Which in some way, like I said, when it comes to the trident and all that. Which also in some way, when it comes to the story of the Pirates of the Caribbean 6, which also gives you a clue that maybe this time we're gonna have like a true supernatural villain in a Pirates of the Caribbean 6. Not of course a different one. Not when it comes to Davy Jones, of course. Because when it comes because you have to think about it. Because the Trident of Poseidon didn't hold curses, they were just, in just few, like 20, something that was just around 20 or 30 years. But something that was way more, but also curses that were way more older, and then went way back, even before even Jack Sparrow and the others were born. You have to think, you have to also think in that way. So, like I said, you cannot possibly know what other monsters effects could bring the destruction of the Trident of Poseidon. Just saying, So maybe it could be something way more worse, So maybe in that way, Jack Sparrow will fight. Jack Sparrow will not fight. Jack Sparrow, could fight someone, who is way more mystical and way more, evil and powerful than him, Which in some way, when it comes to Pirates, it could be a myth, the way how the story were building on that. I don't know how they're gonna handle it. I don't know how they're gonna handle it, all that, But one of the main plots, I think, it was, like I said, one of the main plots could be, one of the main plots could be, could surround Davy Jones and and every single old enemy of Jack Sparrow, going all together to destroy them. Maybe Davy Jones, like I said, building an army, of this creatures, something that were maybe were released after the Trident of Poseidon was destroyed, or maybe just simple Davy Jones taking his revenge on the others, or maybe something even worse, something way more worse, way more powerful, and all that, Just saying, because with the destruction of the Trident of Poseidon, it gives you like a lot of open doors. What could happen in the 6th movie? What could happen? Which I even think maybe will be too much, But after seeing the World's End, nothing is too much. Maybe the 6th movie is going to be something like of a really big calamity, Because like I said, maybe those curses contain something that is way more worse than something that is way more worse than Davy Jones, Salazar, Barbossa, and the others. Way more worse. Just saying, But for right now, the only thing we can do right now is giving theories and discussions and all that, So because we don't know nothing what was going to happen. But the one thing for sure is what I think is going to happen is Davy Jones is going to turn to human. He's going to go back to his human form. He's going to go. He's gonna go back to his human form, and he's gonna be, he's still, you know, and also, you know, he's gonna walk on land. He's gonna have his heart back, and you know, he's gonna be, you know, back as a human again. And also, I think he's still gonna hold grudges against Will Turner, Elizabeth, and Jack Sparrow. I'm totally sure of that. You know. But then, like I said, it will be really easy for Bill Nighy, you know, to play a human version of Davy Jones, and again being a motion capture. Just saying, you know. So when it comes to the main villains, it could be anyone. It could be anyone. But in that way, I can definitely see, you know, like I don't know how much the curses, the storyline of the broken curses, I don't know how much they're gonna expand it. But if they're not gonna if they're gonna expand it a little bit, that means, you know, maybe this time we're gonna have a main villain that is not a pirate or a ghost or member of the Spanish Royal Navy or British, whatever. Maybe this time we're gonna have like a character like some kind of a sorcerer, or maybe even a demon. I don't know, maybe even some kind of a demon or monster, or, you know, witch doctor, you know, witch doctor, or actually, you know, like a true, you know, enchantress or something. I don't know. Like I said, it gives you an open door for all possibilities. What will happen in the Pirates of the Caribbean 6? But I will say that I also watched one of the videos that says that one of the guys that actually gives it the title of the 6th movie, The Sea of Wrath, which some actually is a very good title. It's a very good title, you know. But the one thing that is for certain, I think, is going to be that you know, Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann, they're going to go back to the main storyline. They're going to be one of the main characters in the next one, if they're going to ever make it. And also it will include, you know, Jack Sparrow and all the characters, you know, join together, you know, trying to solve, you know, and destroy all these effects that you know, that from all these broken curses that, you know, that happened after the Train of Poseidon was destroyed. I think it's gonna be something like that. I don't know, because like I said, for right now, I'm just doing simple, you know, discussions, theories, and all that. So yeah, I think I'm done. You know, so like I said, in general, what I think is, like I said, the movie could be centered about Davy Jones reuniting, you know, with old enemies of Jack Sparrow, which includes also Angelica. But like I said, if they did a really good job, you know, if they handled the character really good, you know, in the 6th movie, then if they handle it very well, that could be then that could be arranged, you know, to bring her back for the 6th one, you know. But after I saw the crazy scene on the 4th one, I think they're gonna bring her back, you know. I think maybe, I don't know. Just saying. Oh yeah, also one of the things, you know, if, you know, like I said, if they're gonna make a 6th one, I think, you know, they could end the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise after the 6th one. You know, I mean, I heard that Brendan Twite said, you know, that there's gonna be like 5 or 6 more movies after the 5th one, including, you know, the 6th one and all that. I don't know, but don't get me wrong. I really wish to have Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, you know, to go forward, like way forward, you know. But in some point, you know, it has to end. The Pirates of the Caribbean has to end, just like in the same way. For example, the same way Lord of the Rings did, The Hobbit, or Harry Potter, you know, those kind of franchises, you know, in some point it has to end. So I don't know, but from my opinion, they could end it with Pirates of the Caribbean 6, you know. Even the 5th one, you know, the ending showed, you know, a pretty good ending of the franchise. But when it comes to Train of Poseidon being destroyed and all that, it gives, you know, another open door for a 6th one, you know. So I do believe in it. So if I had to end up the franchise with a really big bang, I will make it Pirates of the Caribbean 6. I will end the franchise with Pirates of the Caribbean 6. No, don't worry, I'm not talking about, you know, like all the other assholes that trashing Pirates of the Caribbean movies. No, I'm talking about, when it comes to, you know, in reality. I'm talking about, you know, as a reasonable viewer and all that, you know, in a way how I see the franchise. So overall, here I am done. So rate the video, comment, subscribe, again, thoughts and ideas. What you think about Pirates of the Caribbean 6 in general? What do you expect to see? Who do you think is gonna return? Also, you know, one of my friends also mentioned that maybe Salazar could be back again in Pirates of the Caribbean 6, which I don't believe is gonna happen, because he's one movie villain. He was just a one movie villain, you know. Even he was brilliant, you know, and I would love to see him back, you know. But also, you know, I forgot, before I ended this video, also a lot of people mentioned that maybe we're going to see Hector Barbosa back, you know. Maybe, you know, a lot of people maybe said that he maybe survived, but I don't think he survived that fall, after that sacrifice, you know. And it would be kind of really bad because you have to remember in Demon's chest they brought him back from the dead, after the Curse of the Black Pearl. So then and now and then again Barbossa in the fifth movie died, and then again bring him back. It would kind of ruin the formula of the character, It would kind of ruin the formula for the character of that, So I don't know. Maybe we'll get Hector Barbossa when it comes to a flashback or something, But in real main story, I don't think so. So overall, here I'm done. Read the video, comment, subscribe, give me thoughts and ideas. Give me some of your personal thing about Pirates of the Caribbean 6. What do you expect? Who do you think it could be the main villain? Do you think Davy Jones is going to be the main villain, or could be someone way more worse, way more powerful and evil? What do you think the storyline is going to be? Give me, drop a like, I appreciate it. Also, if you also you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and my official Facebook page. Drop a like, I appreciate it. Peace, everyone. Have an awesome rest of the day. Laura Shadows, like always, signing off. See you next time.